meeting of the Republican leaders of the House and Senate was held this morning. At that conference, it was agreed, first, that the whole question of the conduct of foreign and military policy be investigated by the Congress in the light of the latest tragic developments. Second, that the Congress should have the complete views of General MacArthur, and he should be invited to return forthwith for that purpose. In addition, the question of possible impeachment was discussed.
The question we have had to face is whether the communist plan of conquest can be stopped without a general war. Our government and other countries associated with us in the United Nations believe that the best chance of stopping it without a general war is to meet the attack in Korea and defeat it there, to see that the security of our country and the free world is not needlessly jeopardized, and to prevent a third world war. A number of events have made it evident that General MacArthur did not agree with that policy. I have therefore considered it essential to relieve General MacArthur so that there would be no doubt or confusion as to the real purpose and aim of our policy. It is with the deepest personal regret that I found myself compelled to take this action. General MacArthur is one of our greatest military commanders, but the cause of world peace is much more important than any individual.
I address you with neither rancor nor bitterness. The fading twilight of life, with but one purpose in mind: to serve my country. I have strongly recommended in the past, as a matter of military urgency, that under no circumstances must Formosa fall under communist control. For entertaining these views, all professionally designed to support our forces committed to Korea and bring hostilities to an end with the least possible delay and at the saving of countless American and Allied lives, I have been severely criticized in lay circles, principally abroad. I now close my military career and just fade away, an old soldier who tried to do his duty as God gave him the light to see that duty. Goodbye.
We have been urged to take measures which would spread the fighting in the Far East. We've been told that this would bring the Korean conflict to a speedy conclusion, that it would save the lives of our troops. In my judgment, that just isn't true. I believe we have a better chance of stopping aggression in Korea at a smaller cost in the lives of our troops and in those of our allies be dropped on American cities. And a single one of them could cause many more times the casualties than we have suffered in all the fighting in Korea. I do not want to be responsible for bringing that about.